Hey everyone, this is Nikita and welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I will start with a new chapter which is periodic classification of elements from class 10th. So I've divided again this chapter into two different parts. In first part, we will primarily focus on the early development of the periodic table. There were several scientists who through their consistent and relentless efforts have made and given certain periodic table, but there were certain limitations which led to the formation of the modern periodic table. So we'll learn a lot of things about that. Okay, so let's begin. So elements are classified according to their properties in order to obtain orderly arrangement out of chaos. So basically there exists lot of numerous basically amounts of elements in the atmosphere. So through periodic classification of elements, we can easily rearrange them in certain columns to obtain orderly arrangement and it becomes less chaotic, and we can learn a lot of things about it. For example, in a shop, soaps are kept together at one place while biscuits are kept somewhere else. Hence, it becomes easier to identify them. So basically, periodic table में भी ऐसा ही होता है. As I have told, there are several elements in the atmosphere. So through periodic table, the ones which have similar and physical and chemical properties can be grouped together in one column, and it becomes easier for people or the scientists to identify and study about them. तो यहाँ पे मैंने जो एग्जांपल लिया है कि व्हेन यू एंटर अ शॉप यू सी देयर आर सेवरल कॉलम्स और रैक्स इन विच सोप्स आर केप्ट टुगेदर समवेयर एल्स एंड देन बिस्किट्स आर केप्ट टुगेदर समवेयर एल्स, एंड अगेन सोप्स like bathing soaps are kept together at somewhere else, like that. So similarly, periodic classification of elements becomes very essential and crucial for us to learn, because it helps to obtain orderly arrangement of the elements, which makes it less chaotic. तो सबसे पहला जो साइंटिस्ट जो थे बेसिकली हु गेव अप the rule was Dobereiner's triads. It was given by Johann Wolfgang Dobereiner, and he identified some groups having three elements. So three elements से ही triads बना है. So what he did, he identified some groups having three elements each and called them as triads. So यहाँ पे तीन मैंने example लिखे हैं. So what he said, first of all I said that he identifies some groups having three elements each. So there are three triads which I have written down here. First one is of group A, group B and group C. So what he said, that the middle element has the atomic mass which is the average of the first and third. Okay, he said that. So ये जो group A के जो मैंने elements लिखे हैं, I have written the atomic mass. If you calculate the atomic mass of phosphorus, which will be obviously the average of atomic mass of नाइट्रोजन एंड आर्सेनिक, इट विल कम आउट टू बी 44.45, पर यहाँ पे 31 लिखा है. सो डोबरेनर ट्रायड्स इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल फॉर दिस ग्रुप. बट इफ़ यू मूव ऑन टू ग्रुप बी, एज आई सेड कि डोबरेनर्स ट्रायड्स में द मिडिल एलिमेंट हैज़ एटॉमिक मास इक्वल टू द एवरेज ऑफ फर्स्ट एंड थर्ड. व्हाट आई सेड इज मिडिल एलिमेंट हैज़ atomic mass एवरेज ऑफ फर्स्ट एंड थर्ड. तो ये वाले में जो स्ट्रॉन्शियम है, अगर मैं कैल्शियम और बेरियम का एटॉमिक मास को ऐड करूँगी, ऑब्वियसली एवरेज निकालूंगी डिवाइडेड बाय 2 करके, तो वैल्यू 88.7 आ रहा है अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट. सो यहाँ पे डोबेरेनर्स ट्रायड्स फॉलो हो रहा है. यहाँ पे 87.6 है एटॉमिक मास. ग्रुप ए में फॉलो नहीं हो रहा है. नाउ इफ़ यू सी ग्रुप सी, यहाँ पे जो तीन एलिमेंट्स वो है क्लोरीन, ब्रोमीन और आयोडीन. सो क्लोरीन और आयोडीन का मैं एवरेज एटॉमिक मास निकालूँ डिवाइडेड बाय 2 करके, तो वैल्यू 81.2 है, विच इज़ ऑल्सो एक्सेप्टेबल. तो ब्रोमीन का आ रहा है 79.9. सो जो डोबेरेनर्स ट्रायड्स थे, जो उसने तीन एलिमेंट्स लेके उसे ट्रायड्स की फॉर्म में अरेंज किया था, इट वाज नॉट एप्लीकेबल फॉर ऑल द सिस्टम्स. सो यहाँ पे मैंने लिखा है कि ग्रुप बी एंड सी फॉर्म्स डोबेरेनर ट्रायड्स. सो यहाँ पे ग्रुप ए में वो एप्लीकेबल नहीं है, ये वाले में. ग्रुप बी और सी में एप्लीकेबल है. So this was not applicable for all systems. So here comes the limitations of Dobereiner's triads, कि he could only identify 3 triads and this system of classification was not useful. तो basically अगर आप कुछ triads या कुछ भी theory या law दे रहे हो, that should be maximum applicable to every system or to every element, but it was not applicable. So here comes the drawback of Dobereiner's triads, which led to the other scientists to come up with this theory. जो second scientist who came after Dobereiner's triads was Newland. who gave the Newland's law of octaves. So the scientist's name was John Newlands. In 1866 arranged elements in order of increasing atomic masses. So basically the scientist who gave this Newland's law of octaves was John Newlands. तो उसने क्या किया? He arranged elements in order of increasing atomic masses. He started with element having lowest atomic mass, hydrogen, and ended at thorium, which is the 56th element. So what he did, मैंने बोला कि Newland's law of octaves में he started अरेंजिंग एलिमेंट्स इन ऑर्डर ऑफ इंक्रीजिंग एटॉमिक मासेस. जो सबसे पहले जो एलिमेंट आएगा उसका एटॉमिक मास सबसे कम होगा, फिर वो जो अरेंज करते जाएगा इट विल बी अकॉर्डिंग टू द इंक्रीजिंग एटॉमिक मासेस. तो सबसे पहला एलिमेंट जो उसने लिया वो था हाइड्रोजन, विच हैज़ द लोएस्ट एटॉमिक मास, एंड देन ही एंडेड एट थोरियम, विच इज़ द 56th एलिमेंट. ही फाउंड एवरी 8th एलिमेंट हैड प्रॉपर्टीज सिमिलर टू दैट ऑफ फर्स्ट. तो उसने क्या नोटिस किया? व्हेन ही अरेंज द एलिमेंट्स इन ऑर्डर ऑफ इंक्रीजिंग एटॉमिक मासेस, ही फाउंड कि जो एवरी 8 मतलब कि जो हर 8th एलिमेंट था, ही इट हैड प्रॉपर्टीज सिमिलर टू दैट ऑफ द फर्स्ट. इट रिसेंबल्ड सेम प्रॉपर्टीज टू दैट ऑफ द फर्स्ट एलिमेंट. Compared it to octaves found in music and called it law of octaves. So basically जो म्यूज़िक में octaves होते हैं, he compared it to that and then he called it as law of octaves. Properties of lithium and sodium were found to be same. Sodium is 8th element after lithium. तो मैंने क्या बोला? न्यूलैंड्स लॉ ऑफ octaves का मेन ये था कि सबसे पहले तो उसने जो एलिमेंट्स को अरेंज किया था, it was according to increasing atomic masses. Secondly, he started with the very light element, the one which is the lowest atomic mass, that is hydrogen, and ended at thorium, which was the 56th element. तो जब वो अरेंज किया एलिमेंट्स को, he found that the first element and the 8th element had similar properties. They resembled similar properties with each other. तो अगर आप देखोगे इसमें एग्जाम्पल क्या लिया है लिथियम और सोडियम का. द प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ लिथियम एंड सोडियम वर फाउंड टू बी सेम बिकॉज सोडियम इज 8th एलिमेंट आफ्टर लिथियम. So this was how it looked for the Newland's law of octaves. Basically, I've written over here that lithium and sodium resemble each other. क्या बोला मैंने कि every first and 8th elements resemble each other. So if I start counting with lithium, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So lithium and sodium has same properties. It is the 8th element. Similarly, if I start with beryllium, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So beryllium and magnesium resemble same physical and chemical properties. So this was told by Newland's law of octaves. Basically emphasizing on the law of octaves is that the first and the 8th element resemble same physical and chemical properties. Okay, so this was told by Newland. But there were certain limitations, there were certain drawbacks which led to the failure of this periodic table theory also. So this was only applicable up to calcium. So this law which was given by Newland, it was only applicable up to calcium. Newland assumed that only 56 elements existed in nature. Later on, new elements were discovered that did not fit into this law. So what he assumed was कि सिर्फ 56 elements in nature में exist कर रहे हैं, there are no other elements. But later on, when scientists, they also studied about, other scientists basically studied about it, they found there are other elements also which did not fit into this law which was told by Newland. Few elements having different properties such as cobalt and nickel were put in same but as fluorine were put in same group as fluorine, chlorine and bromine, which have different properties. So what Newland did, he has placed cobalt and nickel and fluorine, chlorine and bromine in the same column which do not have the same properties. This law worked well only for lighter elements, and that too the ones which have lower atomic mass, that is the lighter elements, it worked only well for them. So this were the limitations and drawbacks of Newland's law. So the next next periodic table, the next scientist who came up with this periodic table was Mendeleev. So first one we have read about the Doberener's triads. He arranged the elements in the form of, basically took 3 elements and arranged them in a column called triads. And then came the Newland's law of octaves, in which he has said that the first element and the 8th element. So Newland basically said the first and the 8th element has similar properties, and then he compared it to the octaves found in music. So but there were certain drawbacks and limitations. Some, like for example, for few it worked only for lighter elements, and then there were certain elements discovered after their theory which did not fit into the law told by the other scientists. So there were scientists who came one after other who worked and then gave their periodic table. So the next which comes here is the Mendeleev's periodic table. So The name of the scientist was Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev, who was a Russian chemist who was a contributor of early development of periodic table. So the name of the scientist is mentioned here. He was a Russian chemist and he's a contributor of the early development of periodic table. He correlated the properties of elements with their atomic masses. So basically he also took the term atomic masses for the correlation of the properties of elements. So let's have a look at the Mendeleev's work over here. So when Mendeleev started his work, like for the early development of the periodic table, only 63 elements were known. Basically it was discovered till that time. He examined relationship between atomic masses and physical and chemical properties. So उसने क्या किया, he took the term atomic masses and then he tried to study the relationship between atomic masses and physical and chemical properties. So what he did is, this is the work done by Mendeleev, which I have written down here in pointwise, which I am going to explain. He selected hydrogen and oxygen as they are very reactive and formed compounds with most elements. So basically for his work he selected two elements, which is hydrogen and oxygen. Why he selected hydrogen and oxygen? The main reason behind it, that they are very reactive and basically they formed compounds with most of the elements. Oxides formed were treated as the basic property of an element for its classification. So basically hydrogen and oxygen, which he chose for his work, and the elements which reacted with that and formed certain type of oxides, that was treated as the basic property of an element for its classification. He used that property for its classification. What property? The formation of oxides. He took 63 elements. Basically I have written what he did. He took 63 cards. So when he started his work, only 63 elements were known. So what he did, he took 63 cards and sorted down elements with similar properties and pinned together on a wall. So as I said, I'm repeating it again, 63 elements were only known when he came up with his work. So he took 63 cards, and what he did, he basically classified the ones which have similar physical and chemical properties and pinned them together in a wall. So it becomes easier for him to study about it. He observed that most of elements got a place in the table and were arranged in order of increasing atomic masses. So after pinning on the wall the cards which he has taken, and then he has read basically he has classified the ones which have similar physical and chemical properties in one column, and the ones which have different physical and chemical properties, he separated them for that. So when he did all this, he observed that most of elements got a place in the table, and the rearrangement was done in the order of increasing atomic masses. He also observed there is a periodic recurrence of elements with similar chemical and physical properties. So he also, when he did all this, he also saw that there is a periodic recurrence of elements with similar chemical and physical properties. The periodic table has vertical columns called groups and horizontal rows called periods. So basically the periodic table, when he read and he came with the early development of modern periodic table, he told that the periodic table has vertical columns, which is called as groups, and then horizontal rows, which are called as periods. So this was how his Mendeleev's periodic table looked like, which I have tried to draw. I hope I have done justice to the modern periodic table. I'm not such a good sketch artist or something, but I've tried to explain so that it becomes easier for you to understand. So this was Mendeleev's periodic table, in which he has told about the vertical and horizontal columns. The vertical columns are called groups and the horizontal columns are called as periods, and in this way he arranged the elements in order of increasing atomic masses. As you can see, the elements are arranged in order of increasing atomic masses. Okay, so his periodic table I have shown here. Now let's have a look at what his achievements were. He has done a lot of effort. His consistent efforts, he has read and did a lot of efforts and put a lot of efforts to the periodic table. So what was his achievements? The sequence of placing element with higher atomic mass after the lower one was inverted, so that elements with similar properties could be grouped together. Cobalt 58.9 appeared before nickel. So what I said, Mendeleev periodic table, the main thing which he started was that elements are arranged in order of increasing atomic masses. But what is written over here is that in order to place the elements with similar chemical and physical properties, the sequence of placing element with higher atomic masses after the lower one was inverted. For example, cobalt comes before nickel. If you have a look at the atomic mass of cobalt and nickel, cobalt has atomic mass 58.93 and nickel has 58.71. but this sequence is reverted. Cobalt comes first over nickel. Cobalt should come at the end since it has more atomic mass than nickel. But this sequence was inverted because what he did, that elements with similar properties has to be grouped together. So he inverted this thing. Instead of the gaps left in the periodic table, calling them as defects, he boldly predicted existence of some elements that had not been discovered. So basically in this Mendeleev's periodic table, if you have a look, which I have drawn here, there are certain gaps over here. So he did not call these gaps as defects. He said there are certain elements yet to be discovered. He boldly predicted that there are certain elements which are yet to be discovered, and that's why he has left gaps for that. He named them by using Sanskrit numeral eka to name of preceding element in same group. So जो gaps उसने छोड़े हैं basically अपने मेंडलीफ ने अपने periodic table में, what he did in order to name it, he named them by using Sanskrit numeral eka to name of preceding element in same group. Gallium, germanium, scandium discovered later that have similar properties to eka aluminium, eka silicon and eka boron. So basically what I said is his basically Mendeleev's periodic table, in which he has left several gaps. He has not called them as defects, but he has basically said that there are certain elements which are yet to be discovered. He has boldly predicted the name using a Sanskrit numeral. So 3 elements which I have written over here, gallium, germanium and scandium, which were discovered later, has certain similar properties to eka aluminium, eka silicon and eka boron. So this was the property and the name of the elements which are yet to be discovered. He has named them using Sanskrit numeral eka aluminium and gallium, which have same properties accordingly. Atomic mass is comparatively equal. Formula of oxide and formula of basically this is chloride, not oxide, this is chloride, ECl3 and GaCl3. So noble gases like helium, neon, argon were discovered very late due to their inert behavior. So basically noble gas have inert configuration. So they were discovered very late because of their inert behavior, and one of the strengths of periodic table was that when these gases were discovered, they could be placed in a new group without disturbing the order. So what Mendeleev's periodic table, when he has drawn, when noble gases were discovered after really long time due to the inert gas configuration which they have, they were basically arranged in a separate column, and it did not disturb the existence table which was given by Mendeleev's periodic table. So these were the achievements of the Mendeleev's periodic table, in which he has worked a lot and given a lot of things and discovered a lot of elements and told a lot of things about it. But there were certain limitations and drawbacks again in his periodic table, which led again to failure of it to some extent. Not to some extent, basically after this the modern periodic table came. So there were certain limitations. No fixed position of hydrogen has been given. Hydrogen, like alkali metals, combines with halogens, oxygen and sulfur. Hydrogen also exists as diatomic molecule. So in the Mendeleev periodic table, there is no certain position, specific position of hydrogen. Hydrogen, what it does, it like alkali metals, it combines with halogens, oxygen and sulfur. Hydrogen also exists as diatomic molecule. So about hydrogen, it has not been specified. Basically the position of the hydrogen has been not specified properly in the Mendeleev's periodic table. Isotopes were discovered after a very long time, which posed a challenge to Mendeleev's periodic law. So in his Mendeleev's periodic law, he has not commented anything about isotopes. Basically isotopes are the one which have same atomic number but different mass number. So he has not commented anything about that. And isotopes, when it was discovered after really long time, it posed to be a great difficulty for him. Atomic masses do not increase in a regular manner. It was not possible to predict how many elements could be discovered between two elements. So in the Mendeleev's periodic table, as you have seen, that there was not a general increase, a regular increasing pattern in the atomic masses. So it was not possible for people to predict how many elements can be basically discovered between two elements. So these were the certain limitations of the Mendeleev's periodic table, which led to its drawback. And after this, the modern periodic table, which is the accepted one which we use now, came, which I'll cover in the second part, which was given by another scientist, Moseley. So I'll tell about a lot of things about that in my upcoming video. So this was all about the first part. So the modern periodic table will be covered in the second part of this chapter, and also there will be there will be discussion about the trends in the periodic table, about the atomic size, ionic size. We learn a lot of things about it. I hope this video was helpful, and I tried to explain the periodic table which was given by scientists in the very early, which basically in the early development of the periodic table there were certain scientists which came, and there were certain achievements also, limitations also, but the periodic table which we use now, it will be covered in the second part. So thank you for watching.